This week on the UB Basketball Insider, CJ Massenberg takes us inside his amazing performance against West Virginia. Nick Perkins talks about what it's like to be on the 22nd ranked team in the country, and we'll find out about the next generation of great Bulls from assistant coach Brian Hodgson. Plus, we drop the top and take a drive with associate head coach Jim Weitzel. Plenty to do on this week's edition of the UB Basketball Insider.
Some of you get one chance in a lifetime to do this thing.
We will make mistakes. We'll get back on defense.
It's right here. We got 40 minutes energy. Let's come in here.
Baseline, Javon Graves driving to the hoop, and he dunks it with his right hand. Right over the bigger Andrew Gordon.
It's about us. It's just our sisterhood, our foxhole, and we don't compare ourselves to anybody else. We're ready to go. We're ready to play anybody tomorrow.
Dillard now Euro step off glass and in. Ooh, Sierra Dillard. That is a bad move out of the senior there.
Basketball fans, on your feet. Here come your Bulls.
Top of the key, Hanson Massenberg, long NBA three, good! It's tied 14.2 seconds to go.
With Bulls senior guard CJ Massenberg, senior guard on the 22nd ranked team in the country. CJ, how has that gone over with you and the rest of the guys? This will be your second week now being ranked 25th to 22nd. It moves you into a little bit of a different class, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely unbelievable. It's a a dream come true. Growing up watching college basketball, you always want to pay attention to the teams who have a little number by their name, and for a little school like UB to have that this is the first time ever, right?
It is the first time
ever. First time ever. It's really a dream come true.
Have you noticed more people are paying attention? Are you just noticing in general that more people know about this program now that they are a ranked team?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I first signed my national letter of intent, my freshman year, not too many of my friends knew about this school or anything like that. Now I go home and play pickup, and everybody talking about, oh, y'all really nice. Y'all a really good team. Like, everybody's scared to play Buffalo and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely unbelievable right now.
You got them paying attention down in Texas. That's good. Well, if anybody didn't know anything about you, they did after the West Virginia game. It is still one of the most amazing performances by any player in the country. Of course, all Bulls fans remember what CJ did, the 43 points, 14 rebounds, 35 in the second half. Have you had a chance to think a little bit about that game, how it went, what you were able to do, and some of the amazing things that have come from that performance for you?
Honestly, right now, I'm a bit focused on the season and just, like, taking it game by game. But I feel like later on down the line, I'm going to look back at that game and, like, be like, wow, I really did that. Like, man, that was amazing.
That's exactly what every Bulls fan has been saying for the last 2 weeks. You're in the middle of it. When you're in the middle of it, you're incredibly hot. Mm-hmm. You're being aggressive. I thought there was a lot of you sort of saying, we're not losing this game. Mm-hmm. Was there a point when that ever comes into your mind as you guys were struggling a little bit there in the second half?
Oh, yeah, definitely. During the second half, when we got down a little bit, or even when we made our run to get back up, Coach called the timeout, and then I went and talked to Nick Perkins, and I told him, like, we got to think about last year. Last year, we came close to winning at Texas A&M. We came close to winning at Syracuse, but we lost. And then in the locker room afterwards, we're saying, like, oh, yeah, we played good. Basically a moral victory, not an actual victory. So I told Nick Perkins, I said, I'm tired of these moral victories from last year. We got to go out and take what's ours. And then after that, I said we got to do every little thing that it takes to win this game, man. And then it happened for us.
That's outstanding. Did you realize how far away from the basket you were on the three-pointer that tied it?
No, I actually didn't realize it, but I knew I had to get a shot up. The play before it, I came off a screen, and two guys went with me, and I made the open pass to the teammate. But the teammate ended up missing the shot, and then we got the rebound, and then it went out of bounds. And I said, no matter what, I got to get this next shot up because I'm just too hot right now. I got to get it up. And then so once it was in my hand, I knew I was firing it up.
It was so much fun to watch, and it's great to hear you sort of relive it. You're up to 6th now on UB's all-time scoring list at over 1,400 points. When you got got here, was that ever anything that you could have imagined that you might wind up in the top 5 all time?
Well, first, giving glory to God, who's the head of my life. But I never doubt him, and I know what he can do through me and things like that. But when I first got here, I was just trying to get in where I fit in. I remember talking to Jaron Skeet, who was a senior when I was a freshman. I said, hey, if I could average 9 or 10 points this year, I just want to help out the team as much as possible. So I was just trying to get in where I fit in. But then once I got going, I just continued to work, and I was able to become special.
There was a great story that came up about your travels when the Bulls opened the exhibition season against Damon, because it was 4 years from the day when your first game came against Damon and you scored 25 points, and everybody was like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
And it was funny. Nate Oates even said he thought he was going to redshirt you because he didn't know what he had. The Damon head coach, Mike McDonald, said you weren't even on his scouting report because he didn't know anything about you. Think back to that day 4 years ago and where it is now.
Oh, I definitely remember that day. That was my first time ever getting interviewed. My first college game in front of the UB fans. That was a very special day. My phone was blowing up. My high school coach, he said, I believed in you this whole time. I knew you would be ready for this moment. That was really a special day that I'm going to remember forever.
How much fun has this been? You knew this was going to be an exciting season. You knew what this team could do, but here you are, a ranked team, knocking off top 25 teams. How much fun has this run early in the year been so far?
Man, it's been really fun, but one focal point that me and the guys have, we just want to make sure we stay focused and take it game by game and not letting the ranking get to our head.
All right, well, congratulations on the start to the season. Keep up the good work and keep having fun.
Thank you.
Coming up, we sit down with senior forward Nick Perkins. We'll get his thoughts on the rise in the rankings at 22 for the men's team. And we're joined by assistant coach Brian Hodgson to talk recruiting. UB Basketball Insider will be back right after this.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by CEFQ, changing lives every day.
It's time for a couple of minutes with Bulls senior forward Nick Perkins. Nick, first question right off the bat. How cool is it to look and see that number next to the name Buffalo? Started at 25, now at 22. How much reaction have you gotten, people starting to notice what you guys are doing because you're a ranked team?
It's actually crazy. We getting a lot of attention from, people who I didn't even know was basketball fans. You see people in student union, people that work there like, hey, man, you guys are 22nd in the country. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's a wonderful feeling, all the hard work we put in over the years, and just I feel like we work harder than anybody in the country, and just, the amount of reps we do, it's good to see it pay off finally.
It's not that you haven't been good for a lot of years, but there is something different about being a ranked team, isn't there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the opponents you play, they're gonna play much harder. I just it definitely adds pressure, but it's good.
All right, so the ranking primarily comes from the big win over West Virginia. First time this school has beaten a ranked team in the regular season. Take me through the win. Take me through what you guys were thinking going into it, and then what you were thinking coming out of it.
We knew that they're a good program. Bob Huggins is one of the best coaches ever. So, we knew going in that it was going to be a tough road win. Playing on the road at those guys, they tough. But during the game, we feel like we was tougher, and just playing against them. And as I think about 10 minutes left, I think we were down like 10 or 12. And the bench got kind of quiet, and I told the bench, I said, hey, like this thing, we got 10 minutes left. Like we need to ramp this thing up. And CJ. That probably the best performance I've ever seen. So just being a part and seeing like the amount of focus he had for that game, it was wonderful.
No one is closer to CJ. You guys came in together. You guys are tight. Like you said, you've never seen him play that way before. But what can you tell us about just the way CJ was locked in that maybe none of us would know because you know him better than anybody?
I could tell he was really locked in, like I think he told me something before the game. He was like, "Hey man, like we got to go get this one. Like you feel me? Like it's our senior year, Perk. Like we got to leave everything on the floor." So I mean, after he told me that, like I could tell that he was really focused for the game and just going out and just to see the level he was playing at. It was really something special to watch.
He told us that he said to you maybe somewhere during the game he was tired of the moral victories, that you'd come close at Syracuse and Texas A&M. He was tired of it. Do you remember that conversation?
Yes, I mean, like our whole career being here, you know, I definitely remember the conversation he had with me, and it's crazy because, you know, after the game, you know, and you play these big schools and you lose by 2 or 3, and you got a coach saying, "Hey, well, we played our butt off, but those guys were good." I mean, you just get tired of that, and it's become something that's repetitive, and you say, "Hey, man, like the more victories, like they got to stop. Like it's Buffalo basketball. Like we gotta make this thing better." So, I mean, that's definitely something that we're trying to build the culture in the young guys, and you know, I think it's definitely something that's paying off. So,
you know, the way CJ's playing, the way you're playing, the way a lot of the guys are playing, and the typical high offensive outputs that you guys normally get have been there, but defense has been huge this year. Take everybody a little into the mindset of how you guys get to be so good defensively, particularly in games like Southern Illinois where your shooting isn't going like it normally does.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I think we played 4 games so far, and I feel like it's, you know, it's tough. I mean, it's tough. Like our offense hasn't been where it usually be at this point of the year. So, I mean, our defense has been like wonderful. Like Dante and Vontae have been amazing on the ball with taking on. Vontae probably got the most on-ball charges I've ever seen, like out of any player in the world. So, like he's playing amazing right now. And I mean, our defense as a whole is something that we stress. And you know, like one thing you can't control is shots falling every night. Like, you feel me? Like, you're not gonna have C.J. Massenberg nights every night, 43 points, 45 points. So, I mean, just the hard defense, that's something that you can depend on every night to win games, and, you know, that never leaves. So,
when you think back to 4 years ago when you got here and where this program is now and the role that you have helped in get this program to where it is, how much fun is this year? It's your senior year. You know it's the last one here. How much fun is it for you to be in the middle of all this?
I mean, it's amazing. When I came in as a freshman, you know, Buffalo, we were starting to be good, and I feel like it's something that we didn't build the culture and made it better over the years, and just being a part of it, you know, it's humbling. It's humbling.
All right, hey, Nick, keep up the good work. Keep up the fun season. We are all enjoying watching you and the rest of the guys do what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going.
Coming up, we'll sit down with assistant coach Brian Hodgson to talk about the 2019 recruiting class and the new players that have joined the Bulls this season. That's all next on UB Basketball Insider.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
With Bulls basketball assistant coach Brian Hodgson. Brian, welcome to the show. I know your focus a lot of the year is on recruiting, and even though we're in the middle of the season now, you've always got your eye on the next class. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's talk about this year's class that is just starting to get their feet wet. We've seen glimpses and flashes of Janathan Williams, Rondo Segou, and Trayvon Fagan. Give me a sense of how each of those guys is getting used to college basketball.
Getting used to it is the right way to put it. All three of them are big pieces of in parts of what we're doing right now in our success. All three of them came with a humble approach. I mean, you take Rondo and Janathan, were two, you know, ESPN 4-star kids coming in here, and to come in and accept their role off the bench, that's huge. You know, most of the time those guys walk into programs and play heavy minutes, but both of them are giving us a huge spark. Janathan was unbelievable in the Southern Illinois game, and Trayvon, he's one of our most reliable guys. We can expect on him to give us good, legitimate minutes.
I think Bulls fans have already seen flashes of the athletic ability and talent of Janathan Williams, even in the limited minutes, even in the limited statistics, but there are a few times when you go, okay, now I understand what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, you know, and Janathan's he's going to start. It's going to start happening real quick for him. Right now he's just starting to figure out the whole scouting aspect, the defensive side of the ball. Once all that clicks, he's going to be special.
Rondo Segou plays a position that generally takes a longer time to mature and get comfortable being a point guard. Have you seen, again, some spurts of what you know he can do even in the settings of these competitive games?
Yeah, Rondo's one of the reasons we recruited him, he's one of the toughest competitors out there. And to walk in here and be with Dante and Devontae every day, and he's quickly learning that stuff. And when he gets in the games, he gives us a little spark. He's solid on the ball defensively, and then offensively, he's came up with some big baskets for us.
You're getting great play in the post from Montel McCray, but when he needs a little bit of a break, we've seen Trayvon Fagan be that guy, and we've a couple nice dunks already from him. Is that what you envisioned for his role when you recruited him?
Yeah, Trey, we got Trey. He's only a sophomore, so, he was a qualifier at a junior college, so he's still figuring things out. Again, with him, right now he's accepted his role playing behind Montel and Nick, and once it really starts to click, Trey's going to be special.
All right, let's talk about next year's group. It just had signing day recently, which means you've got 3 new players all locked in for next year, including one that comes from your hometown. Tell us about how long you have known James Rojas from Jamestown and how long your relationship goes back with him.
You know what? So I taught James's younger brother at school in Jamestown when I was an assistant at Jamestown Community College. So I've known the family for 10 years. I watched him through high school. They came up to team camp. My high school coach, called me and said, "Hey, I want you to take a look at this kid." And we all watched him as a staff, and I was shocked. His development from the time when I knew him to when we saw him as going into his senior year of high school. And at that point, we knew he could play for us.
6'7" forward who was first-team All-Western New York in 2017 when he averaged 27 points and 11 rebounds at Jamestown, was going to Hutchinson Community College, where he's playing now. The best thing for him?
Yeah, it was. Hutch is one of the top junior colleges in the country. They play on a national stage, and for him, it was about going there and playing against that level of competition and just learning the game so he could have a smoother transition to the Division I level.
One of the other recruits coming in is a 6'5" wing player, guard forward from Houston, Texas, named Dury Cadwell. He's playing at Daytona State Junior College in Florida. Tell everybody about Dury.
I think really, Dury's kind of the steal here in this class. Everybody knew about Andre and James a little bit. Dury's a freshman qualifier to Houston, so we signed him before he ever even played a game at Daytona State. I happened to go down and see him in September, but he's we're gonna try. He's gonna be our Jeremy Harris replacement. 6'6", and can really shoot the ball and can do a little bit of everything. He plays multiple positions. He's gonna be a special player here.
And you mentioned Andre. That's Andre Allen, 6'9" forward from Los Angeles, California, playing at Arizona Western Community College. I thought the interesting thing of him was he played at the same high school as DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton will be linked to UB in some way, shape, or form forever, won't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably not thrilled about that.
That's
but,
true.
Yeah, Andre's a special talent. He'll be our Montel McCray replacement. And when you're replacing a group of 5 guys like we are now, it's tough to even call another guy, hey, CJ Massenberg's replacement. But Andre's going to be special. He's 6'9". He runs like Montel. He's got a 40-inch vertical with that size, so he fits how we want to play. And then, you add in Antoine Johnson, who's sitting out right now. Antoine would be a replacement for CJ, and I think that Antoine's going to be a surprise to all UB fans. I mean, he's special and kind of can walk right into that spot.
Yeah, well, again, there's great players are here now, but they'll be leaving, and there'll be some panic about that, but it sounds like you've got the right pieces in place for all of this winning to continue next year.
Yeah, I hope so. We've still got 2 more scholarships. We've got Gabe Grant sitting out, also transferred from Houston, that'll fill some of that void, but we got 2 more scholarships. We're going to kind of wait out and see what happens in the spring and kind of assess our needs a little bit more, but we're really excited about the group we have coming in.
All right, Brian Hodgson is the guy who beats the bushes to get the next generation of players in here. Brian, good work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coming up, Jim Weitzel gets behind the wheel for this week's Town BMW Coaches and Cars. UB Basketball Insider continues in a moment.
This is UB Basketball Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
We might have recorded this a couple of months ago. If not, Associate Head Coach Jim Weitzel is even tougher than we think. Let's let the wind run through our hair as we head over to Town BMW.
All right, Coach. So right now we are in the 2018 BMW 430xi convertible.
Love a convertible.
They're absolutely incredible. Yeah. This car has a 2-liter 4-cylinder single turbo engine, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat. Which is it'll get up and get going, and it still maintains 32 miles per gallon on the highway.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna make a left up here. I'm gonna actually put it into sport mode for you. Feel free to feed in a little bit of gas and go right through the turn.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that grips it nice.
Oh yeah. Or we like to do in test drives what's called the panic stop. So once we get up to speed, I'm gonna have you jam right on the brakes there. So whenever you want, if you want to slam on the brakes, the car does not get upset. You can go even harder.
Man.
So just as
that does.
Yeah. So just as quickly as it eats, it picks up speed, it eats that speed right back as well.
That is nice. I want one.
You want one, right?
It's a beautiful car. Great ride and great pickup.
Yeah.
You felt like you're driving a race car.
Right.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
Got yourself a nice convertible for the summer.
There are 7 new players on this year's UB women's basketball team, and a couple of them are starting to emerge as real keys for the Bulls. Let's meet the one they call Addie.
Hi, my name is Adebola Adiyeye. I am from Brampton, Ontario. I am a power forward and my number is 25. I first started playing basketball my freshman year of high school in Canada, and it just blossomed ever since then. What basketball means to me is basically my safe haven. I am big, I am loud. You'll always hear me, you'll hear me before you see me. Prior to Buffalo, my biggest achievement was really last year, which was my senior year, helping my team, really helping them develop as people and on the court as well. Coach Jack is she's just like a motherly type figure. She is the type of person to push you to a possible place where you don't even think you could be pushed. And she's the type of coach to want you to always strive for your best. The reason why I chose Buffalo was because the coaching staff, the people there were so amazing. They treated me like I was already a student here before I even committed, and everybody was just so warming, so loving, so welcoming, and you could really tell that they wanted to help me.
The UB men's team is in action later today. It's a 2 o'clock tip-off right here at Alumni Arena as the Bulls welcome the Marist Red Foxes into town. You can hear it on ESPN 1520. You can see it on ESPN3. Then the men will hop on a plane and fly over to Northern Ireland for their tournament next weekend. Meanwhile, the women's basketball team is out west right now. We'll catch up with them on next week's edition of the UB Basketball Insider.